And once again, I know that they recorded this the same times they recorded the last week or two's programming is it QT Marshall's gym or wherever in Georgia with part of a crew. I love the atmosphere so much more than anything else when they've got the guys in the fucking in that building. It's like a warehouse or a gym and an OVW type building where it's small anyway, so it's not like huge and sterile. And they've got the guys yelling and screaming and making noise. So this is the best atmosphere you can have for wrestling. And they've done some good things with it. The Cody package at the beginning on the tournament, I know you're going to fucking hate it. I liked it. It's movie-like, but I liked it. Because Cody, he says that shit well. He's well-spoken. He emotes. But nothing about this was hokey or phony in terms of making fun of the matches being fake or silly. It was just kind of cool shot video, and he's putting everybody over in the tournament. I didn't have a problem with that. Well, I know you don't like Cody's more theatrical points.
I don't like the theatrical segments in wrestling in general, the ones that are just completely ridiculous. There's no plausible reason why there would be this little control room on a soundstage that's being filmed. Like, this just doesn't make any fucking sense. Beyond that, I think Cody in front of a crowd is one thing. And even there, I get to a point where sometimes I'm like, okay, you're hamming it up. But when I watch this, it's seriously, I tweeted out, it looks like he's auditioning for a show on the WB. And then someone actually corrected me and said, oh, actually, it's the CW now. So that's what it comes across. It comes across like a guy badly trying to be an actor, badly trying to play a role. And to me, it just comes across as completely preposterous. I don't know why. Well, other people like it.
So you're saying it was a club sandwich with extra ham. That's what you were saying here.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. I wasn't a fan of this at all.
Well, once again, with some of the other stuff on here, I could have taken more of this. Chris Jericho makes even the rotten segments of this fucking program bearable, and especially when he said about Kenny Olivier, that Rocky Dennis looking fucking face, that pumpkin-headed dipshit.
I can't believe he said that. When I heard Rocky Dennis, I was like, oh my God.
And somebody on Twitter thought he called him a rotten dentist. And Jericho said, I said, Rocky Dennis, you idiot. Google it, right? Pumpkin-headed dipshit. But anyway, I love Sammy Guevara's promo. When he promoted the tournament, his promos are getting better. He's an annoying little prick heel. He was talking his ass off there. He's the kind of guy in the old territories you could go out and you could let him cut a promo and get some fucking heat and send a babyface out to beat him up, and he'd still have heat after he got beat up. So I like that. And he's promoting a match with Darby Allin. It's the first in the tournament for the TNT championship, right? And I wanted to see this. And what the fuck? Tell me what you thought of this match before I say a word.
Well, it wasn't what I was expecting. And these are two guys I am high on. And I think they are a positive look at the future, potentially, of AEW. But the match, I don't know, I'm at a weird point. I've watched a little bit more of this stuff lately than you. And I've gotten to the point where I really hate empty arena wrestling or small arena wrestling. This match, I don't know. It felt like too much.
Well, too much was one thing, but they better than anybody else on this show could have pulled this off because they're so athletic and they're so quick. And Guevara had talked it up, and people like Darby Allin. Darby Allin feeds off the live crowd, but the folks watching at home like him too. Anybody watching this program at this given point in time with all these other handicaps, they're devoted fans, and they would. But here's how they fucked things up. They started with their finish and then finished with their start. Here's what they did for the folks who didn't see this. Immediately, Guevara dives out on Darby Allin before the match starts. The bell is not rung. Bashed him into the fucking guardrails, pulled out a ladder, fucking bridged the ladder from the apron of the ring to the guardrail to keep the 17 wrestlers back or whatever. The guardrail to the apron, bridged it with a short step ladder. And short is the key here, because the longer those ladders are, the more give they got in them. This was not a long ladder. Then Guevara gets up on the top rope He puts Darby Allin on the ladder, stretched out, flat, facing up, gets on the top rope, and gives Darby Allin a full splash, a stiff full splash on the fucking ladder where that goddamn ladder didn't give a fucking cunt hair. And it looked like he caved fucking Darby Allin's ribs in. And then as Darby Allin is laying there, they say, well, this match hadn't even started yet. You think it's going to? And they go to a break. The first thing we see on this show and the first thing these guys do is a hospitalization angle used as a break spot. Then when they come back from the break, Sammy Guevara tosses Darby Allin in the ring and the bell rings. How the fuck would that ever happen? I know that they're shorthanded, but in any other wrestling program in the history of wrestling, if somebody did that, boom, and splashed a guy like that, all the referees or agents would run out, or officials, they'd be helping him out of the building. They'd be fucking criticizing the person who did this, Sammy Guevara. You wouldn't start the fucking match. Now they just start the match, and I wrote, well, I was actually interested in seeing this, but now if this 175-pound guy even gets back to his feet, I'm pissed because it's bullshit. And guess what happened? They start the match, and with a minute and a half, Darby Allin is back on offense. Not only is he back on offense, but when he had Guevara trapped upside down on the ropes, he pulled Guevara's boot off and started headbutting Sammy Guevara's bare foot and ankle. So now we're going for ha-ha less than 5 minutes after a goddamn hospitalization angle. Then there was an edit. Sammy Guevara is on the apron of the ring, and he does a one barefooted springboard into a cutter on Darby Allin in the ring, but he must have missed it the first time because there's an edit, and he did it again apparently. But of course he hits that, but that doesn't stop Darby Allin. Darby Allin gets another ankle lock on the barefoot. They do another set of an awkward 1-2. And by the way, everybody knows what I mean by 1-2, right? When they stand in the middle of the ring and one guy punches the guy and the other guy punches him back, and the other guy punches him and the other guy punches him back. It's 1-2, 1-2. That's how you call it in wrestling. If you're both down, he says, get up and get a 1-2. Except it's supposed to be punches, and they're supposed to look good, and there's supposed to be a flow to it. Instead, they all just fucking, I think I saw a 1-3. For a minute there, they did a 1-3, 1-3. They couldn't even get the 1-2. They were potatoing each other left and right. Darby Allin's nose is fucking bleeding, and they're working their ass off, but psychologically, this was a fucking mess. And somebody let them down here by either telling them to do all this shit or telling them once they had thought of doing it that it was okay to do it instead of changing all their shit. Then they go to another break. When they come back, Darby Allin goes for that great fucking dive he does. The low, what did they call it? The lope instead of the tope, where he goes over the bottom rope head first like an arrow straight out and shoulder blocks the guy. But instead, the fucking, Guevara moves and Darby Allin goes straight from the ring through the ropes head first into the guardrail. The same guy that 10 minutes beforehand had what we would have believed was 6 broken ribs and internal injuries has not only become competitive again in this match and is kicking ass, but now is fresh enough to do this dive. And then when he misses it, goes head first into the fucking barricade. Guevara tosses Darby Allin back in the ring and hits a 450-degree something splash off the top rope and gets a 2 count on the guy that's just speared himself into a fucking guardrail head first. And after that, within 15 seconds, Darby Allin is as fresh as a daisy, back to hero from zero, and pins Sammy Guevara with his weird leg lock, 1, 2, 3. I wrote here, great talents that need to be saved from themselves. This match made no fucking sense. What if they had done this? What if they had started their tournament match like normal folks in a fucking wrestling ring, and the bell rang, and they had a nice match, and they did some of these moves, and they skipped taking the fucking guy's shoe off, because then a barefooted fucking Instead of a slappable faced, motor mouthed heel in the top group, he looked like a mid-card fucking comedy heel with one fucking boot off. Instead of taking the boot off, they had a match that they could have had with all their athletic shit. Darby Allin does the same finish. He pins Sammy Guevara with the weird leg lock, 1, 2, 3, advances in the tournament. Sammy Guevara is so fucking pissed that he has been shown up and defeated and let down the inner circle that he attacks Darby Allin from behind, fucking incapacitates him on the floor, puts him on the goddamn ladder, goes to the top, does the fucking same exact splash that he started the match with, to be the last thing you see, and you go off the air with Sammy Guevara, a loser, but smiling because he took out Darby Allin, the winner who advances in the tournament, with that fucking splash, and has left Darby Allin in jeopardy now in his future tournament matches because he could have broken ribs. That might have made sense. That would have been the first thing that I would have thought of if somebody had told me they were going to do this shit. What the fuck? What is it going to take to fucking hurt this guy if that shit that they did to Darby Allin, this 175-pound skinny little feller that everybody loves, none of that hurt him? What are they going to have? Are they going to run over him with a goddamn bread truck next time to get some heat on him? It didn't make a lick of fucking sense.
Everyone has an amazing immune system in AEW. From Road Warrior Buck to Moxley to Darby Allin, everyone can get destroyed and just pop back up and be fine.